Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Super-Fanta-Fi. This being a show about TV shows of the supernatural, fantasy, and or science fictional genre. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about the series premiere of From, a great series premiere. A lot of really interesting things went down in this episode, so let's break it down. This is a show I've been highly anticipating. Just from the trailer alone, I really liked the premise. The comparison I made when I originally watched it, and I made a video where I kind of discussed the trailer, there was a show on Fox called Wayward Pines that was kind of like I think it was kind of an anthology series. I only saw part of season 1. That is a series I need to circle back around to. But basically, you're kind of trapped in this town where some like crazy weird stuff is going on. And this kind of has a similar thing to it. So what surprised me was like how normal life was in the town. I wasn't expecting it. Because like Jim and his family is where I thought we'd start. And then we like get smack dab in the middle of the town and find out about all the shenanigans. Not shenanigans, but all the terrible crap that's going on. I didn't expect us to start off on the town, making it seem like things are normal. It's like, hey, get home. Megan, listen to your mom, so on and so forth. Everybody get home before it gets dark. That's it. But like, obviously, I went into this knowing the premise behind it, but I wasn't expecting it to start off so normal. And that's so wild to me that it kind of seems like, oh, some normal town, and it diffuses you. If you were able to walk into the show and knowing nothing about this premise, that probably hit super hard, being like, what? I don't know what this show's about. Oh, crap. But once again, I went into this knowing this. So it's kind of a bummer, but it's like, I'm glad I watched the trailer because I wouldn't have known what the show was about. So I'm glad at the very least. But I still think that was a nice introduction to start things off normal. Get you in the middle of like, this is what it is. Get home before dark. Everyone's got these little sigil rock things. Kind of, I guess they're kind of like meant to ward off evil. But it seems from the houses we've seen, like when we got a peek on the inside, well, not just the houses, but even like that, what is essentially a hospital. I guess it's kind of more like a nursing home, but even Christy had one like at the front before she closed up and everything. So like everywhere has one. But it is just as long as you stay inside, stay away from the windows, it seems like you got to cover up the windows too. And we kind of see why, because Megan, that little girl, was not just her mom was killed because she opened the window. So we don't know what these things are. So at first I was like, are they ghosts or something? But they're monsters, or are they just straight up monsters? Because like, I mean, my brain goes in overload because it doesn't seem like it's vampire rules where they can't just come in. They have to somewhat be invited in, but as long as you open the path for them. And that might have just been like, oh, the invitation. So I don't know if this is technically like a vampire thing. They are coming out at night. They kind of need an invitation. But the way they rip people open, like the way Megan and her mom were like literally chest ripped open. I mean, and that plays into, because you see that like scary and eerie imagery in the opening title sequence, and you saw some of the drawings. I was like, that's jacked up, because those are kids drawing of someone with like a limb missing, potentially an eye missing, and blood from there, and then like people's chest rip open. That looks like some like werewolf or Wendigo stuff, like, because it seems like, because I mean most lore kind of typically makes it so that, I mean, I don't think they're werewolves, but werewolves typically end up eating hearts, don't they? Or at least they eat organs. Because, I mean, I'm basing that on Supernatural. Because I think Supernatural really leaned into, like, yeah, like, werewolves eat organs and stuff like that. I want to say it's the heart. But I'm also like, yeah, like, I'm curious, are they Until Dawning this? And spoilers for Until Dawn, there were Wendigos involved. So I'm wondering if there's something of that nature going on. Like, we don't know what makes this spot what it is, what these creatures are. So that's fascinating. But, like, just kind of that quick introduction. And I love that the sheriff, who, I'm probably going to butcher his last name, but I believe it's Harold Perrineau. See him in a couple of things. I think the first thing I ever probably saw him in, at least remembering, like, I never saw much of it, but I believe he was in Oz, wasn't he? That HBO prison show. Other than that, obviously Lost is the go-to thing I know him best for. I'm trying to remember. I feel like there was something fairly recent I'd seen him in, and I just can't remember what. I mean, I watched Lost in its entirety a couple years ago, so there's that, but I'm like, I feel like there was something else I saw him in fairly recently. I can't place it, but regardless, he's the sheriff, Boyd is his name, and so he made Frank, he's like, Frank, come here. I was like, are you going to get mad at Frank? Because yeah, he got drunk, but at least he was at least he was locked up in a bar, you know. At least he didn't get drunk, come home, and cause an issue that way. But because he was drunk, like, I love that, like, Boyd was like, no, you're going to see what happened. Boyd kept pimp slapping the shit out of him like twice. And it's like, no, this is your fault, you idiot. Look, what did I tell you? If you got kids, you board those damn windows shut. And it's like, look at what happened to your family. This is on you. This is your fault. It's like, yo, even to the point Boyd is like, Kenny, lock him up. Like, so I guess it's like, this is your punishment for doing what you did. Like, this is all on you. You did this. It's like your family's dead because of you. Because either he got drunk and just forgot to board up the windows. Like, I wonder, is he a relatively new person in town? New-ish. Because we don't know how long, because the way when Jim and his family crossed paths with him, they never really went into whether or not, like, they were making it seem like, oh, these are new people. It's like, I was like, I didn't know if it's just because they don't get people that here that often, or is it supposed to just be symbolic of just like everyone knows. So it's like, damn, are we gonna have to break some new people in? Because it's a whole ritual of like, cool, you gotta let them drive around a little bit because you can't throw it all at them once. They gotta kind of see it for themselves. Wait, did we get on the wrong road? All right, no. Wait, we didn't turn anywhere. Wait, that first time it was a circle, but we definitely didn't go in a circle. We went to, why are we back here? You have to like let them go through it a little bit. Then like, it's like, all right, boy, it's like, we're ready. Him and Kenny were going to plan on like putting down strips because I guess, because at first I was like, is the flat tires a byproduct of them trying to stop people from going? Because people are going to freak out, try and get in their car and try to go and end up speeding through town and hitting someone. But it's also like, right, when people start panicking, they've probably seen it time and time again. People start, so it's like, right, we have to take the vehicles out. Like, there's no escaping the town anyway, so we have no idea how long a lot of people have been here. Because who's to say even that, like, the sheriff kind of has seniority, but that's also because he's a sheriff, but we don't know if that's a byproduct of, because, like, who knows if, like, Kenny was actually even a deputy beforehand, or did he just get deputized by Boyd? There's once again a lot of mysteries kind of and unanswered questions. Obviously will get answered as the series progresses, but it's just, you know, the way my mind works. I'm immediately questioning, like, okay, what does this mean? What's this about? Like, I'm super excited to really dive into this show, but they even had a thing saying, like, nights without incident. They were up to a little over, it was 96 days, so a little over 3 months. And this happened because of Frank. So that's the thing, though. Like, he must have been there long enough to have done that, but maybe he kept putting it off over and over and over again because he spent so much time drinking. Because I guess it's like, once again, it's a crazy circumstance, and we see that people tried to have some form of a normal life. And I guess his way of coping with everything was drinking a lot. And because of that, you know, because at the very least, he could have been there to keep an eye on their daughter because he promised to be home. And so it's like, right, it's kind of like that kind of falls heavily on him. So, but it isn't just what's going on in the town. Like, Jim and his family seem like they have to deal with some complicated circumstances. Let's face it, Julie's kind of an asshole. Like, that whole, like, oh, like, it's like, oh, they're fairies, can't normally come back to life. It's like, nope, the monsters kill them. And when you're dead, you're dead. You're like, Jesus. And then she's also poking fun at her brother. You know what they call a group of crows? A murder of crow, which, to be fair, yeah. Which, once again, that is the most jacked up way to refer to a flock of crows. Oh, you're not a flock, you're a murder. Like, that's the most jacked up thing that humans have decided to name that. That's so crazy. I am curious about what Tabitha said about, like, oh, like a flock of ravens is known as an unkindness, which is like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, that's 2 times you've been super uncool to your little brother. Like, part of me wonders, is it because, like, are they really, like, I'm wondering, is Ethan, like, their kid, and is Julie just Tabitha's? Like, are they coming into this with different, like, from, were they, like, are both of them all of their kids? Or, no, because she refers to him as dad, so I don't think it's a thing of, like, oh, he's your stepdad or something. Because I was wondering if there was some, like, issue there. But based on the conversation, like, at first the way he was like, oh, like, you know, going, because it seemed like, oh, like, the way he fist bumps her for, like, how she handles, like, the whole Ethan thing when he was upset. It's like, right, monsters don't exist, so Norman's okay, go back to playing. And he fist bumped her for, like, oh, it's a good way of handling that. But then, like, they kind of have, like, this conversation where he's like, oh, like, remember back when we first started dating and I met your parents? And it's like, oh, it turns out they didn't hate me. He's like, yeah. He's like, I think about, you know, before. And she's like, don't go there. And I'm like, at first I was like, did she cheat or something, because it seemed like it seemed like he was referencing something like, oh, I'm in the right and you're in the wrong. So I'm like, I don't know if that's supposed to be indicative of like, did she have an affair or something, like what that was about. But later on, Tabitha references Thomas, and he's like, it's Ethan. She's almost like, what? He's like, it's Ethan that's trapped in a van. She's like, yeah, that's where I knew that. So it's like, it seems like they had a third child, Thomas, that died. Because she said my baby, so Thomas might have been the youngest, or maybe Thomas came about before Ethan. Maybe Ethan was super young at the time, and Thomas was youngish too, but died. Or once again, we don't know. But this family's got their own issues. Aside from ending up in this weird place, not almost getting into a car accident because of Toby and that other dude, because it seems like they were high at the time. Drunk or high, which is like, the other guy's definitely high, so Toby seems like he was, so it's like, cool guy, cool, you kind of calms the situation. So I wasn't expecting that car accident element, so it's like, cool, and it's at the worst possible time, because it turns out, hey, there's only like a couple, like, we've got 2 hours of daylight left. They set out the spiked strips, but that's before they went to go help. We also got introduced to like, Boyd's got his own complicated situation with his son Ellis, that they have some beef and some issues, that he's staying at some house run by a person named Donna. So it's kind of like, I guess like the town's divided, where it's like, hey, sheriff, you run things in your town your way. Here at the house, it's my place. Like, it's kind of I guess a free zone, a get away from like the rules, that, because he kind of dictates a lot of the rules in that town. So here, like, it's kind of everyone gets to do what they want to. You get to stay away. Like, I guess like maybe Ellis blames his dad for something. Maybe it's they lost someone, his mom, a sibling, somebody, because of the way he handles things. And maybe that's why Boyd is the way he is. Maybe some mistakes he made in the past. And so, because he even wanted Ellis to go to, what was the wife's name? I want to say it was like Lauren. Go to her funeral, because it's like, pay your respects. He's like, Lauren's that, and he's like, I know. So it seems like there's a deep enough history to the point Ellis is like, he even goes to pay his respects finally, not to both Megan and Lauren. So I'm like, okay, so there must be a history between those two families or something. Other than that, we had that whole weird situation with that lady who's like brother's like dealing with the animals and stuff. Cause like, she's the person that like, when they come into town, like she was like on the outskirts of the town and she was looking, and then what she was doing with Toby, I'm like, I was like, that's so weird. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, she's kissing him and stuff and being like, it's not your fault. And then stabs him in the neck. I'm like, what was that? I'm like, cause part of me was wondering, and based on the trailer, I was wondering like, does this town do like a sacrificial thing of like, cool, like either she's kind of like some weird cultist religious nut that's like, oh, we're going to make a sacrifice and that's how we appease the monsters, or maybe it is a thing that the town kind of agrees upon and it's like, cool, like you are the perfect person to do this, rather than it be like maybe every once in a while they have to sacrifice someone. Maybe that's the justification. You do something criminal, like maybe the part of the punishment is that you get fed to the monsters, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what that was about. Like I said, the entire time, it's like, oh, the nurse is away. Like, oh, I'm going to stay here with you. I'm like, she's so creepy. I'm like, why are you here? What are you up to? Like, does your brother know what you're doing? There's so much. I'm like, I don't know about that. So, but, circling back to the car accident, luckily, Boyd showed up and he was able to get to Jim. Obviously, Tabitha's okay. She's a little shaken. I mean, obviously, like, it seems like she might have gotten like a concussion or something from the accident. Julie's back is kind of a little messed up. Ethan's got like a piece of table through his leg. So they're all pretty banged up. That could have gone really bad, especially in Jim's case, considering that large tree branch literally crashed through the windshield. So he's just stuck. But luckily, with some help from Boyd, everything ended up okay. But it's like, yeah, this came at the worst possible time, because it's like, cool, we need daylight's running out, so we got to move fast. So Christy wants to stay behind because she can't move Ethan right now, because to make sure his leg and stuff is okay, that he's okay, is going to take about an hour to deal with that. They only got like 40 minutes of daylight left, so she's going to stay. Luckily, what's his face? Boyd ended up bringing that stone that's got the engravings on it. That's kind of a ward. He brought it with him. So I wonder, do they actually only have a limited number of them? Because it was interesting when he talked to Christy. He's like, do you think it'll work? And she's like, it'll work. So is she the one that knows the most about this? Like, where did they get that knowledge? Who's the first one that came up with this? Once again, we don't know how long this whole, like, town situation's been going on. Like, who came up with the idea of using this as a ward? Whose idea was it? Because they do have a father with them, like a priest, but it doesn't seem like this is correlated to that, you know? He's there just because he's trapped there, but also it's just the point that he's there to give, like, final rights to, like, people and stuff like that. But it doesn't seem like that's a holy thing. I don't know whether that's just, like, somebody read something somewhere, because there is no cell reception here, so there's no access to the internet to look that stuff up. So the fact, like I said, it seems like it might be something related to Christy, just because, I was about to call him Harold, Boyd asked her specifically about it. Because it needs to probably be like, I mean, maybe there is something with the father, but I feel like he would have probably asked him if it was, like, something, like, holy related. You know, maybe it, you know, borderlines on probably like that, occult type of thing. Supernatural occult type of thing. But I guess it's like, will the RV count? Because it is a vehicle. Would a normal vehicle be able to be applicable as a place to hide? But maybe because, like, maybe this ward only works on homes, and an RV technically can count as a home, even though, like, because vehicles probably typically won't count, but maybe because it is an RV, it can be with the proper, I don't know. Maybe there's, like, set rules, but the whole point I went on this whole diatribe, I was thinking maybe they only have a limited amount, because he made sure to grab it after, like, he picked it up off the ground, which means, like, we know it was hanging at the time. So maybe when the monsters, when they left, they knocked it off the wall after being invited in, or what? Because it doesn't seem like Lauren or Megan, like, made it downstairs. They both died in that room, so. But, like, I'm wondering, is there a limited one passed out? That's why everyone has to go to their homes, because they don't have enough to cover every place in town. But they made specifically sure to, like, cover everyone's homes. And it's like, cool, once you go home, you're safe because you'll have those wards. But once again, you also have to cover up the windows, because I guess if you... It seems like you can look at them, but if you looked at them, they're more likely able to compel you, and you're more likely to be swayed by who. Well, it's more about who you'll see, because they'll kind of take on whatever form it is that will draw you in. Like with Megan, it's like, oh, I'm your grandma, but she was like, you look different. So either that was the monster taking on the form of an old lady, being like, oh, I'm your grandma, even though it looked nothing like her grandma, or maybe because she did look a little different now because she was monstrous. So once again, my mind gets wondering about what this could be. You think about something shape-shifting, pretending to be a monster, pretending to be something else. You're like, well, my mind immediately goes to, like, some Skinwalker type of thing. So many different lanes this could ultimately end up going down. But obviously they tried to get Julie and Tabitha back to town, while Jim stayed out here with Ethan, Christy, and Boyd. And even, like, Ellis was like, you know, this is a suicide, right? Because I guess, like, there's no guarantee. Because home is one thing. Being out in the middle of the woods means you're going to be surrounded on all fronts. They have to survive until morning, until dawn, probably. But obviously Jim's like, wait, what do you mean about something dangerous in the woods? And he's like, I'm just going to try and keep this RV safe. He's like, I don't have time to explain all of this to you. I wanted to have more time to explain, but sadly we don't have that luxury. Here they come, and they start coming out the woods looking like regular people, but it's like what they are. And once again, Boyd is looking out at them. So it's not like this. It's just about, right, what form they're going to take, what they're going to say to try and draw you in. And, you know, as long as you don't look at them, it makes it a little easier, because it's like, right, no matter what you see, no matter what you hear, like, because by the time the others got back to town, sadly, Kenny forgot about the strips because they were in such a rush. So, cool, the vehicle guy, it's like, cool, you guys who got to run as fast as you can, no matter what you see or what you hear. It sounds like they're going to stop by Donna's place, and it's like, will they let us in? So, once again, there seems like there's a little bit of a divide in the town, but it's like, right, we got to shack up there. But like I said, this was a really, really great introduction to this. Like, kind of, you know, obviously the ball was going to get rolling, but I do appreciate them kind of taking things slow and us getting to this point. And I didn't expect the family to get introduced under these circumstances. Like, but it's like, yeah, might as well throw you into the deep end because you're in there pretty deep already, but might as well throw you in a little deeper. So I'm excited to see where everything takes us going forward. I have to look into this more. I know that the episodes, like, just satellite wise, like air like one at a time, but I think much like Chapelwaite, I believe the first 3 episodes were released. I've only seen the first episode, but I have to look because I don't know if it's like, if you go, because I think if you just have the Epix like service itself, like subscription, but I don't know if it were, I have to check the on demand, because it might be on demand as well. The other 2 episodes might be up there. I have to check, but yeah, so the other 2 episodes are out. I might still just release these week to week like Chapelwaite. I might just watch them ahead of time and just release them week to week just in case no one's watching them on demand or watching them one at a time. I don't know. I'll see what I do. I'm most likely just going to release this one today because I'm getting to this late. So hopefully this ends up going up today, but I'll look into it a little bit more and see about the 2 other episode situation, episodes 2 and 3. But like I said, they are technically out already. But Epix on the channel of Epix on the satellite is just 1 a week. But we'll see. I'll ultimately decide how I'll handle that going forward. But regardless, I'm excited to continue the show. Like I said, I'm super. I've been intrigued by the show like since I saw the trailer a couple months ago, and I'm just so excited to find out the mystery behind this. You know, because a line from the trailer is, "Once you see the tree, you're kind of stuck here." So, and also the point. And this episode, I should before I even end this, I should also a thing I was wondering, because it is an interesting thing that you have. Boyd say when he first talked to Jim, is like, "You got your family with you?" And he was like, "Yes." I was initially thinking like, oh, does this place only target families? No, but families are the biggest potential victims, because they'll potentially have young kids who could easily get drawn in. So I think that's the big issue, because obviously like Toby and his friend, like they are significant other, whoever it was he was with. It's like they didn't have kids, so that's why I'm like, you know, but I mean, I feel like the family thing was more so referencing kids rather than just like, but maybe it is a thing of like, it doesn't bring people who are alone. If you have some sort of family, whether it's someone you married to or whether it is just a full-blown nuclear family, whatever the case may be, maybe that's what he's referencing. Either way, we'll get more answers going forward, but like I said, we'll ultimately have to wait and see. But really, that's all I want to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.